morning, Alan. Thanks
Good
for being
morning,
with
Madison.
us on a Wednesday. And a new chapter in Purdue football started yesterday with the introduction of Coach Barry Odom. What were your takeaways from his first appearance in front of the community?
Well, I thought Madison, he came out and looked the part. Certainly, he's a guy that looks like a football coach. You know, when we introduced there was Mike Babinski, very well spoken, certainly very directed in what he had his remarks. He had a little bit of thing in Mackey Arena initially with President Mung Chiang, who you see him with there. That was kind of the first 40 minutes. Then he met with the press. Of course, Purdue Pete got a chance to be front and center as well. But it was really a chance to meet the community and kind of talk about his what was next for him. And I think he left a very, very favorable first impression.
And what are his priorities in the first days and weeks in the job?
Well, there's a lot to do, and especially in today's world. The transfer portal opened up yesterday, meaning that players can now move about. We've had several Purdue players already enter the portal. So it's going to be all about roster development, but also the ability to go out. You can see Dylan Thieneman, one of the more higher profile guys that is in the portal, and is going to visit some different schools. But it's going to be about roster development and also putting his staff together. There'll be plenty of things for him to work on as he goes through the holiday season, because it is a crunch time really when it comes to the transfer portal and roster development in college football.
And deal points of the contract were divulged yesterday. Were there any surprises there?
A lot of money. That was what hit me more than anything. Of course, $39 million over 6 years. The difference between his contract and Ryan Walters was 5 years, and his starting salary about $1.5 million north of where Ryan Walters was. So a very good deal. I mean, and to get the best, you're going to have to pay the best. And his contract length, 6 years, $39 million. It will escalate from year 1 up to year 6. There's buyouts in there. There's all kinds of things that are similar to what you would expect. But a very strong contract, I think, from a financial standpoint, certainly for Barry Odom.
And now let's turn our attention to Dave Shondel's volleyball team, which heads to Louisville for the NCAA regional action. But it won't be easy as it faces hometown favorite Louisville on Thursday night at 9:30.
Well, it is going to be a challenge for Dave Shondel's, and they're used to this when they get to this part. The Purdue really made quick work in 6 matches, or 6 set wins, 3-0 wins in their first 2 rounds. It was very, very impressive in the wins over Loyola, especially. This is a team that is going to have to go on the road. They're playing at Freedom Hall for Thursday night, and if they win, they'll get Stanford probably on Saturday. So it's going to be a rough battle, but this is a team I think that Dave Shondel has hoped to point that they would be at their absolute best. Eva Hudson has been great, Chloe Chacoin, Raven Colvin. Those 3 have to be at their absolute best if Purdue's going to pull an upset. And it would be an upset to beat Louisville and then get the chance to beat Stanford and the opportunity to go to the Final Four.
And finally, a quick look at Matt Painter's men's basketball team. What are you about where you are expected of them now? Yeah,
I think that for right now, Madison, I think that even though the Boilermakers have had a couple hiccups, the loss at Marquette, the loss at Penn State, but what a terrific game Sunday's was against Maryland. Fletcher Lawyer hitting the 3. It took all that Purdue could muster to get that job done. But that's what you're going to see, I think, in the Big Ten this year. There's 18 teams in the Big Ten. You have to get used to that. And really about 16 of them are capable of winning every night out. And I think that's what's going to make it very, very difficult on the road, like we saw for Purdue at Penn State. And this weekend they traveled to Indianapolis to play Texas A&M, ranked 17th. This will also be a challenge. There's just going to be challenges everywhere you turn. Expect Purdue to lose some games. We're not used to that very much with Purdue, but the Boilermakers have to find a way to hold serve at home, which they did against Maryland, and be able to do that and to get the opportunity to win a couple of road games, and you can be competitive in the Big Ten.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning,
All right,
Alan,
thanks.
and
Great
we'll
to be
see
here.
you next Friday to talk more about Purdue sports.